You are now listening to the Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seats Sports Bar and Grill in Champaign, Illinois, presented by Ford of Tuscola. Now here's your host of the Behind the Mic Show, Keith Gibson.
Welcome everybody to the Behind the Mic Show. I am your host, Keith Gibson, for episode 11. That's 2 1s, 1-1. Episode 11 of the Behind the Mic Show. And joining me, as always, my co-host, the great one, Sam Erwin. Sammy, we're double digits, but 11.
That's right.
Double
Got
singles.
the 11s now. Yeah, absolutely. And after a awesome, I thought, 10 show,
Yeah.
we just keep climbing. I don't know what numbers we're up to now, but didn't you text me that we're at 1,000 downloads already
That's correct.
of this show? So we got somebody listening. So those of you out there that are listening, and pardon my voice this week, I got a little cold, I think, a little summer cold or something. But if I sound a little rough, sorry. But to those that are listening, take the time to do it. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoy it because we enjoy doing it. We got to start somewhere. So I think we got some things in the works that might make us even bigger and better. Some things got to line up.
Pipeline,
like
baby.
stars.
We got things in the pipeline.
That's right. We're going to be famous, baby. But no, that's cool that there's that many downloads. So we definitely have some people listening. So that's awesome.
It is awesome.
So yeah, pretty cool. How's things your way?
Things my way are well. Can't really complain. It's busy at work, busy at home. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Right. That's right.
We got our, hey, you know what? It's July.
That's right.
That means at the end of the month, we got our Drinks and Dive Tour coming up for
That's right.
to raise money for the Champaign County Shop the Cop program.
Absolutely. And I assume we will have a nice show going on for that one.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there'll be video and some interviews. And
maybe there shouldn't be video.
Well, that's true. That's true. But no, I think it'll be a good time.
Absolutely.
We got a full bus, and it'll be fun. So make sure you tune in to cheapseatsbar.com Facebook page, and we'll have info on that. And the inaugural one, we filled the bus up pretty quick, too.
Yes, you did. You didn't have any trouble filling that up. Imagine that when alcohol's involved, how people show.
Hey.
So, yeah. But you did say how much did that raise for Shop with a Cop?
$600.
Nice. That's going to help a lot of kids out.
It will.
A lot of families down there.
So hey, you know what it was?
Hmm.
They heard DJ KK Mole was coming back.
Oh, you know what? Like I've said, if you don't bleach the eyebrows and shave the head with a headband, it's not really the same. I'd give
not going to be the same.
Oh, I'd give anything. It was so great.
Hey, we not a whole lot going on in sports here in the summertime in the week, but we do have some things to talk about today. We'll touch on NBA free agency and how the circus show of it has started. We'll talk about all-star fan votes, and is it really necessary to have the all-star fan votes, or is it a celebrity contest, popularity contest? And then we'll touch on one of our biggest things we love to talk about, wrestling.
That's right.
So it'll be a fun thing we'll have today, and we'll do our Mount Rushmore of NFL running backs later on in the show as well. Mm-hmm. And then we have a special guest. I mean special today.
Oh. The tippy top.
It doesn't get any more special than this.
It does not. No. Number one, I can't believe we talked this person into it.
My wife is going to join us, Sammy. She's going to go on the podcast, on air with us, to talk about cheesy pickup lines.
Yeah.
And we're going to throw our best at her.
We are. And we're going to see who can sway her one way or another. Does she stay with the Mo Money with his awesome lines, or does she go one-on-one with the great one?
Well, when I met her, I didn't really have to use a whole lot of lines. It was pure swag, baby.
Oh, you didn't have to say a word. No, just look at you. I mean, it says it all. Why not? Yeah, so this has to be a big moment in her life. I'd say other than giving birth, probably near the top, maybe marrying you, I guess.
Thank you.
But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's a big moment for her. But this is big. It's big. So yeah.
Behind the mic show. It'll be interesting. Right. But exciting to say the least. So let's get into it. Let's talk NBA free agency.
Okay.
A lot of things are changing.
Crazy day today.
You said on episode 10, we had Coach Tackett on. We were talking about a little bit of this. Previewing it, 40% of the NBA players are free agents this year. That's unheard of, ungodly amount. And you're seeing ungodly amounts of money being thrown players' ways right now and guys switching teams. What's your thoughts? I mean, we're seeing Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan going to go to the Nets.
The Nets.
Nets.
And that's the one that is confusing to me I just don't get it other than Jay-Z's involved is all I can think of because I think he is. What's that?
You go what?
Yeah. That's right.
H2SO.
But he's involved. But how, all of those guys, because I think DeAndre Jordan was already on the Knicks, so they could have brought in and played for the Knicks. So there is something terrible going on with ownership of the Knicks. As you've heard in the news, James Dolan is a dumpster fire in and of itself. Nobody wants to go play there, even though it's the Mecca, and everybody wants to play there, but you can't because of that ownership. So they're going to go where they feel safer in New Jersey, I guess. But here's the thing.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn. Sorry. Yeah, it used to be New Jersey. Brooklyn, you're right. So I guess maybe there's more to it than what seems to the eye. But Durant's going to be out for this next year. Kyrie Irving has shown no ability to lead a team at all without having LeBron with him. He can't do anything with talent around him. And DeAndre Jordan is, over the hill in my book. So I don't know if that's really going to work out for them. But, you got Kevin Durant with him. A lot of things can happen. Once again, he's not a real leader either, but that's a big movement there. And then who the Lakers are going after hardcore now.
Before we move on to that, I want to talk about this Durant going to the Nets real quick. I want to ask you one question on that.
Yes.
And that is, you're giving a guy who's going to be out the entire next season a max contract, 4-year max contract.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Tons of money. And, they have a lot of faith in his recovery, apparently. And to me, because I read that about the Knicks before we started the show tonight, I was reading a little bit about it, and that was Dolan's concern with the Knicks is just like Boogie Cousins. He came back. He wasn't near the player he was pre, Achilles. So it's like you're taking a major chance that he's going to come back 100%. Nobody comes back 100% after an Achilles tear. It just doesn't work that way. Maybe a Keith Gibson, but that was in his prime, and that's been a few years ago.
Yeah, now for his age and
yeah, yeah. But Durant, of course, is a superstar. I get it, but at the same time, boy, it'd be hard for me to say, yeah, here's 140-some million dollars. Let's win some basketball game when you don't know what you're going to get when he comes back. You just don't know.
That's a big risk.
It is a big risk, yeah. But I wouldn't have done it. But I guess that's why we're just sitting here doing this podcast instead of me running an NBA team. But I think I would have went after somebody else. But if he comes back 100%, then it's well worth it, even though you lost a year. But if you get 3 years of healthy Kevin Durant, I guess it's worth it.
So you're going to pay him a year to
sit and recover.
Get healthy.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Yeah, and I think Golden State was going to try to sign him to a 5-year deal and do like a sign and trade where he could have sat a year but then had 4 years left, and that just didn't work out. So word is there's a lot of distrust with Golden State now. Their team doctors, Andre Iguodala, came out and said that something about he had a broken bone, but they said, it was just a bone bruise or something like it. Was just there's a mess in Golden State right now. So Klay Thompson might be gone too. You never know.
Well, I read earlier in the week that he was set to sign here pretty quick, a max deal with the Warriors, but now gets a
little shaky now.
Things are starting to crumble in Golden State.
Yeah.
But you were speaking of California, the Lakers in a meeting with Kawhi.
Yep, they freed up some cap room. Anthony Davis agreed on his trade to something about $4 million some dollars, which freed up enough money to do, of course, another max signing. And I think you and I talked about this in the last show and Tackett, and we were like, I don't know if I'd get another max player because then you have zero depth. You got three superstars, one really good role player in Kyle Kuzma, and then nothing. It's like they're going to sign you and me to play. It's like,
okay,
I'd do it, but but so they'll have a bunch of league minimum players or veteran players at $1 million a year to fill in, kind of like they did this past year, and see how that works. I don't know, but they're going all in on Kawhi, sounds like, and I don't know. You hear rumors Kawhi might be going to the Clippers instead. With Jimmy Butler now is gaining steam. I just read that. Which that would be quite the duo right there. And Kawhi Leonard, you don't know with him. Money means nothing to him. The fame means nothing to him. He's just a totally different superstar.
He's different
than
cat.
Anybody else. He's a different kind of cat, man. So,
Meow.
Yeah, he just went and won a title with not much help. He doesn't need a ton of superstars around him. And, I don't know that he goes to L.A. and maybe he doesn't want all the bright lights and all that. Because you play for the Clippers, you're not really playing in L.A. because it's all about Showtime, the Lakers there. Clippers are still the little brother. So that may be better for him. But if the Lakers get Kawhi Leonard, good God.
I
But
still
I don't
think,
know.
I don't think they have enough depth, though. I don't. I mean, you
No.
can have big three, and we can see what that does for you.
Right.
We talked
Exactly.
about on episode 10 with Coach Tackett when he was here with us.
Yep.
You know, if Durant, Kyrie, and Jordan, go in the Nets, DeAndre Jordan. Now, if you get Kawhi and LA, is the big three. Do you really need that?
Yeah. And of course, once again, if you can get a Kawhi Leonard, you don't say no to Kawhi Leonard. You take him. I get it. You make it work. But at the same time, it's like you still have no point guard, which I guess LeBron can play that most of the time. I guess that's fine. But at the same time, it's like, well, who else do you get then? So there's still a D'Angelo Russell out there who was with Brooklyn, who now Brooklyn said bye-bye to for Kyrie, which I think was a mistake.
Agree.
But, D'Angelo Russell may be coming home to the Lakers. That's picking up steam. But it just depends what Kawhi does. If he doesn't, I guarantee you, if they don't get Kawhi Leonard, D'Angelo Russell will be a Laker by tomorrow.
Well,
So
here's my thought is the Lakers are going to do everything they can, and the NBA is going to help them. Whether you like it or not, it's a business.
Yes, it is.
That's where the money's at, and people know that. In merchandise, ticket sales, the Lakers need to be in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
And so I could see Kawhi going there, and that's going to get a lot of pub.
Oh, boy.
But other signings, too, which, some of these just blew my mind, the money that's being thrown around right now.
Yep.
Damian Lillard staying in Portland for 4 years, $194 million.
My God, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
Porzingis staying in Dallas with the Mavs, 5 years, $158 million.
Another guy coming off a severe injury.
Right.
Wow.
Now here's one of my favorite signs. I know we talked about J.J. Redick. J.J. said to sign with the Pelicans, 2 years, 26.5.
That makes sense.
Right.
That would make sense. And that's where I wish the Lakers would, of course, they got to wait and see about the big fish. But that's one that would have been good if they'd have got, let's say a D'Angelo Russell. Then you could have brought in a J.J. Redick, a good shooter on the wing that, man, he would flourish and get you some of those people. But obviously they're going for this big three thing, but yeah, J.J. Redick, great shooter, doesn't play much defense. Of course, once against the NBA, they don't play much defense. But yeah, I don't get it. And Kemba Walker went from Charlotte to the Celtics. And I think, to be honest, some people are going to call me crazy, and that's fine. I think that's an upgrade for the Celtics to get rid of Kyrie Irving and to bring in a Kemba Walker. I think a Kemba Walker is a much better leader than Kyrie Irving is.
I think Kemba is a better team player.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And boy, Michael Jordan, once again, I know, a lot of people say he's the GOAT, and it's hard not to say he's not the GOAT, but when it comes to ownership and anything outside of playing basketball, how do you let a Kemba Walker go? What are you going to get to improve on that? It's like, give the man his money, keep him there. Maybe he didn't want to stay, but I can't imagine he'd want to. I just don't get it. Maybe he didn't offer him enough, but maybe he just said, yeah, you can go if you want, but man. So now what does Charlotte have? Right.
Well, maybe the biggest signing out of all these is Derrick Rose to the Pistons for 2 years, $15 million.
How about that? Hey, hey, I tell you what, though, the poor guy, and one of these episodes, maybe we can add it to this one, because I heard these guys talking about this, other sports programs, whatever. Let's do that on this show just a little bit later. Athletes that if you could have watched them play their entire career healthy, who are those athletes? Pick 3 or 4 athletes that sadly had injury problems and didn't get to play all the way through and play 100% healthy. Derrick Rose is one of those players.
He is.
He really is, because he was just phenomenal early on, and then the injuries started to pile up, and he was really never the same. But then every now and then he'll show you flashes of brilliance. I think he had 50 this year in one game when he played for Minnesota. So it's just a matter of him staying healthy, but bless his heart, he just can't. I don't know why, but man, what a player he was until the injury started. So,
but I'm glad to see him come back though and actually have a productive career and get a 2 year, $15 million. That's nothing to laugh at. That's $7.5 million a year. You and
yes,
I
it is
comfortably.
Yes, it is.
Who would have to do this show with that money?
Boy, I know, man. I'd hate to lose the paycheck on this show, but
I pay you well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So, yeah, but it's just been crazy, just wild, and we're still waiting to hear the Kawhi news. He was supposed to have a meeting with the Lakers today. He wanted Magic Johnson, even though Magic Johnson left the Lakers, and that was supposed to be a big dumpster fire problem. He wanted Magic there, so Magic still has a lot of pull. Kobe Bryant may be at that meeting. I don't know if LeBron and AD will be at that meeting. You would think they would. So they've got and just think about that if you're a free agent. You walk in to a meeting and there sits Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and they say, we want you to come play with us and win some championships. And it's LA, baby. I mean, good God, who would want the beaches, the women, like Ric Flair. I mean, they've got it all. So it would be hard to turn that down. But once again, Kawhi ain't about all that. So we'll see. We'll see. What's your thoughts? What's your prediction? Do they sign Kawhi?
Man, I don't know if Kawhi wants to be there.
I don't either.
That's my biggest thing. I think he fits well with LeBron and AD. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think he fits in and could work with both of those guys because they all three like to give up the basketball.
Right.
I'm just not sure of the type of person that he is if he's a fit in LA.
Right.
Lakers.
Right.
I think what you said earlier, I'll piggyback off that, is that he may be a better fit for the Clippers.
He might.
But I think he ends up back in Toronto.
Right. You know what? He might, but I don't know, because he's from LA. So, I mean, that's a lot of it too. And you got to think from his perspective too. The Clippers have a good young team, and they have a fantastic coach in Doc Rivers. The Lakers have absolutely nobody but LeBron James, AD, and Kyle Kuzma, and a coach from Frank Vogel that's never done a thing. So there's other things, and Kawhi's not dumb. I mean, he's going to go to where he's got more help than just a couple superstars. So we'll see. We'll see. So.
It'll be interesting. I did see the Bucks re-signed All-Star wing Middleton, 5 years, $178 million. That's a lot of money for these guys.
Man, and especially Milwaukee, which is a small market team. But you got to think this too. Okay, so you've got Giannis, a superstar among superstars. He's big time. He stayed, which was surprising, but he loves it there and he's going to stay. If you can talk a point like Middleton's good, but I don't know if he's worth that kind of money. But what kind of free agents are you going to have come to Milwaukee, Wisconsin? It's like there isn't a big drawing card there for free agents to come to. So it's like if you can get them to stay, I guess you sign them up. But man, they're throwing that money around, aren't they? There's a player, Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris for the Sixers signed a 5-year, $140-some million deal, I think. Tobias Harris. Like,
who?
What is going on? Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? So,
but can you blame him?
No, take that money. You going to throw that money at me? I'm going to take it, So, yeah, why wouldn't you?
I would play for Minnesota. I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't care. I could vacation, the rest of the year when I'm not up there. I could vacation somewhere warm.
Right.
So,
Yeah, kind of crazy. A lot of money being thrown around right now in the NBA, and it'll be anxious. I'm anxious to see, and I think you are too, of where some of these guys end up. I still think there'll be some more trades. I think you could, what you talked about earlier, some sign-in trades.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that either, and it's going to be a whole different landscape. When you have 40% of your players are free agents, not to mention guys, new draft. The draft just happened too, those guys. Mm-hmm. It's a total different landscape in the NBA right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe what they needed.
Oh, they needed to. Everybody's tired of Golden State being there. They're just sick of it. But a lot of people watched probably that finals, the last couple of games, because Toronto was actually winning. I never looked at the ratings, but, you would think they would. But it's time for new teams, that's for sure.
Well,
time
I
for
agree.
some freshness.
All right, well, moving on here, we'll that was great talk.
It was.
We've talked a lot of NBA here lately.
We have. Of course, that's the only thing really going on. So.
That's true. That's
true.
But another thing going on, though, is moving on from that is the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is coming up. And I know you're not a big fan of baseball.
Right.
Because you don't like to sit through 3 hours of a 1-0 game.
Right.
But the All-Star Game's coming on, Home Run Derby, which is one of my favorites of the year.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a big fan of the Futures game because I like to see the guys in AAA who are coming up. Tim Tebow's not on that roster, by the way.
Is he not?
No.
Oh, I think he's batting like 152 right now. Hit his second home run of the season. I didn't see that.
Not a good year for Timmy.
Not great. A lot of strikeouts.
And we'll get to that here in a second because I have a thought on Tim Tebow I want to share with you.
Okay.
But let's talk about the All-Star Game. And the fan vote has always been one thing that did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? But you look at the last few years, and I'm a diehard Cub fan. You know that. Our listeners know that. But 3 years ago, we had 8 starters on that team, the Cubs did.
That's insane. You'll never see that again.
That's and they've kind of switched things up this year where they went to 3 finalists. Now, the Cubs traded Tommy La Stella to the Angels. I know you probably have no clue who Tommy La Stella is.
Wasn't he the manager for the Dodgers for a long time?
No, that was Lasorda.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
No, Tommy 3 a.m., Tommy La Stella, the Cubs traded him in the offseason, the Angels. Guy has hit – the most home runs he's ever hit in a year is 3.
Yeah.
He's hit 15 this year already.
Whoa.
He's
Ooh,
hitting
not
over
a great
300
trade.
and playing, but he's playing every day.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That guy should be an all-star starter.
Right.
He's a reserve. I'm sorry. What's your take? You know, you look at the NBA. The NBA is the same way. It's all on popularity. It's all about what city you're from.
Right.
Who's the greatest marketing? Who's getting the most votes from that? Well, if you're a team like Minnesota,
Right.
NBA, who doesn't have a big fan base, you know, huge crowd every night, compared to say the Knicks or the Lakers or the big market teams, you're not going to get guys in there. You look at Major League Baseball, small market teams like Pittsburgh,
right,
Tampa Bay, who's can't even now talking about going to Montreal because they can't get anybody there.
Right.
They're not able to get guys in. What is your take on that? Should it be fan vote or should it be a player vote?
You know what? Honestly, I think, of course, you obviously want fans to be involved somehow, right? I mean, that's who buys the tickets. That's what makes this whole thing work is fan participation. But like you said at the same time, okay, you had 8 Cubs one time on starting. I mean, that's insane. That's a bit overkill. Not that they didn't deserve it, you know, because that team was on fire. I get it. But at the same time, if you're looking at across the entire United States, if you're leaving teams out, every team, even if they're terrible, probably has somebody that could play in an all-star game, right? I mean,
Right.
majority-wise. There's some teams, I'm sure, that are just god-awful. I get that. You know,
even the Marlins.
The Marlins. Okay, let's leave them out of this conversation because they got nothing. But, you know, by design, I guess, but good Lord. But anyway, I almost think it would be better. Okay, player vote perhaps. You know, why not? But at the same time, wouldn't it be – I don't know if it's better or not. Maybe you know far more about this than I do. But I think it'd be cool is if each team was represented by one player at least. You get what
Agreed.
I'm saying? Yeah, you know, especially if they've and not just because, like, you know, we're putting, you know, Stan Smith from, you know, whoever from the Yankees on there just because, you know, we need a Yankee. No, make them – you have to have certain criteria to be eligible, let's say.
I like
whether
that.
it be, batting average, RBIs, home runs, whatever the fielding. You know, and remember back in the 80s, people weren't hitting 30 home runs for the All-Star break and all that. I mean, I remember that one year Jack Clark led the Cardinals with like 25 home runs for the year, and they thought he was a slugger. You know, Ozzie Smith made how many All-Star game appearances, and it wasn't because of his batting. You know, it's because of his stellar defense, and, you know, he was the wizard. So there are other ways to get people involved, but there are, you know, people that are truly deserving. We get that. But then you don't need to throw in others, like you said, just because it's a fan vote. I've seen people get put on these all-star, whether it's NBA, NFL, you know, Major League Baseball, whatever, that definitely are batting like 240, 250, but because they're popular with the fans, vote them in when they haven't earned it at all, where other guys get snubbed that are having great years. So maybe if you spread it out to where you get at least one player off each team, you know, or something like that. I don't know if that's too many players or not, but
Well,
it's
not. Well, my thought was I would like to see – you can't have each team represented in the starting 9. I mean, you know, there's
right
that.
But to fill out the roster. You know?
Right. I would like to see each team – like you can have more than one starter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd really like to see. Make it a true all-star.
Yeah, right.
And if you've got 2 or 3 all-stars, fine. They can be reserves. But I think each team should have one all-star starter, and that's it.
Right.
Make it you know how you build these low-market teams, these small-market teams?
Mm-hmm.
You showcase their guys.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of talent that plays in these small market teams that you've never even heard of, that they may luck into an all-star appearance, but really they've deserved it for a while, but they don't get the votes because they're playing in Nowheresville. You know, whereas if you're not playing in New York or LA or something like that, Chicago, whatever, which is much larger markets, you just don't get noticed. So maybe the way to get the fans involved or something like that is if, let's say, the team has, I don't know, 2 or 3 that are eligible to be all-star players, right? What if the team says, here's our 3 choices, and then the fans get to vote on those 3 choices to put one of them in? Everybody wins that way. The fans are involved. The team gets to pick who they think deserves it, and the fans get a little bit of say too. You know, instead of I don't know. I mean, there's ways to do it. Who knows?
Well, you know, there's the festivities are going around the all-star. You know, NBA has all-star weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Major League Baseball is the only one that does it in the middle of the season.
Right.
Well, I guess the NBA does it too. But,
yeah.
You know, Mike Trout's never going to do a home run derby. He came out and said that.
Right.
LeBron's never going to do a dunk contest.
No.
Why?
And what do they say? The guys in Major League Baseball are like, well, it affects my swing. Now, wait a minute. You take batting practice every day under the same conditions. Now, granted, I know they're spraying some around. Like I'm sure they want to pull some and then hit some to right.
Did you just say spraying some around?
I did. Yeah. Reminds me of my days in college. But anyway, that's another subject. So, but anyway, but yeah, I don't know how it affects your swing whenever you're taking BP all the time under the same type of conditions. It's no different, right? I mean, they've even got their own pitching coach or batting practice, thrower coach, whatever you want to call him, that's there that they bring with them to the home run derby. So it's like, what's the difference? Now I did say that New York Mets player, former Gator, yep, he's in it, and that kid's having a year, man.
He is having when you can break your franchise rookie record for home runs before the All-Star break, you're doing something right.
And he beat out who?
That was Darryl Strawberry.
Correct. That's right, Darryl Strawberry.
Come on.
But yeah, and that's the thing with these All-Star weekends. It's nice that they've got some young kids that are involved. Kind of gets their name out there a little bit. But once again, you got to have the big names. You really do. Oh, a fresh brew. But yeah, you got to have some big names in there, and I can't believe they won't do it. Like Mike Trout, come on, man. I mean, I don't understand why he doesn't do it. What is his reasoning for it? Did he give a reason why?
No, he just said he enjoys just sitting back and watching it. That's a little break from mid-season for him.
I guess so. Yeah, but still, it's a lot more fun when you got to. Remember when Griffey did them? Griffey did it. Pujols has done it. McGuire did it. Bonds, Sosa, Harper. Yeah, they've all done it. It's like jump in there. And just like NBA, slam dunk contest. LeBron, come on, man. We know you'd win, so go out there and do it. It's like, what do you care?
Would he, though?
Oh, yeah. Hey, have you ever seen his pregame dunks just to warm up?
No.
Better than anything you see in the NBA dunk contest. It's phenomenal.
It doesn't take a whole lot. You know what I'd like to see the NBA do? We're talking about All-Stars here, and if you're just catching us mid-show or whatever, we're talking about the All-Stars and how players get in. But talking about the NBA a little bit and their All-Star Week and Slam Dunk Contest, I'd like to see them bring guys in off YouTube.
Yeah, why not?
Street ball, guys like that. Let it come in, and because some of those guys – throw down
insane. And once again, make it the winner gets $1 million, something like that. Bet you'd get some bigger names come out then, or would you? Because once again, what if I get beat by a kid that's just off the streets? It's a YouTube sensation. I'm an NBA professional. Now, granted, dunking is a lot different than playing in the NBA, but still, they don't want to. It's all about ego with a lot of that stuff too. And maybe LeBron's afraid. What if I do lose? So whatever.
It's interesting. I love your idea of the team putting 3 guys out there. Here's our 3 that the team voted on.
Absolutely. Yep.
Maybe 3 offensive players and 3 pitchers.
Yeah. Now, how big is the roster for each side in an All-Star game? How many players can they have total?
I believe it's 40.
Good God. Is it really? Of course, you got to have a lot of pitchers.
Right.
And all that, right? Yeah. So there you go. Figure that out and divide it up amongst the teams, and they can have, maybe 1 pitcher and 1 position player, something like that. And whoever's having the better first half of the season, then you get in, instead of all this popularity thing. I mean, it's one thing to be popular, but it's another if you actually produce and you've earned it. So
32.
32 on each side. Gotcha.
32.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot of players. And there's how many teams in each league?
Well, there's 32 teams.
Oh, interesting. So 16 on each side. So, each team could have 2 representatives.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And it represents the whole league, which is what you should do. Now, granted, once again, I'm not sure who you'd pull in from the Marlins, but, there are some.
It matters. Let them have some, have some representation.
Not? Exactly. Why not?
They don't have any fans who know who they are either, so maybe somebody will learn something.
Well, didn't they have some in the home run contest before? A player that played that wasn't even on either All-Star team? Didn't he come in and bat?
Yeah, that was Justin Moore.
Thank you. There you go. So what the hell's it matter?
Right.
He didn't even make it. He brought it in. So why not?
Yeah. But anyway, so that's our take on All-Star. I love the All-Star game. I love the home run derby. I know every year, since I've known you, if we're not together watching it, we've always text back and forth. We're like, ooh, ah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you see that? Yeah. Or we make our picks on who we think's going to win.
Yes.
And we're never right. But still.
Never. Schwarber had a nice showing last year. I was pulling for him, but
yes, he did.
Oh boy. But anyway, all right, Sammy. Done with talking All-Star games and weekends, and we didn't touch much on the NFL Pro Bowl, their All-Star, which is the. You want to talk about dumpster fires?
Oh boy, that's just not even worth talking about. Moving on.
Hey, at least the NHL has a skills competition.
Oh, did they? Yeah. Did they bring that back?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I miss? I miss the NFL doing the quarterback competition. You remember watching those?
Oh, I love those. Yeah. Oh, it had the blue
targets
chalk dust on the end of the ball.
Yeah.
At the targets. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
That was fun. They
Yes,
can't
it
do
was.
any fun because it's no fun league.
That's right.
Anyway, moving on. One of our favorite things to talk about. We previewed at the beginning of the show, pro wrestling, and you and I are we're in the process of ironing out details and getting ready to get started with the. Can I tell them the name? Can I do it? Go ahead and do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
The Champs and Chumps Wrestling Roundtable.
That's right.
So
and tell them who the champs are. Tell them who the champs are.
That'd be myself.
Yes.
That'd be you.
Yes.
And that'd be now he may be the longest reigning world heavyweight champion ever. Downtown Bosco.
That's right. Nobody's even challenging him. They're afraid of him.
Well,
so, yeah. And then if we have guests on, they're the
Jump.
Perfect. So yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Champs and Chumps.
So,
yeah,
that's right.
I'm excited for that. We're gonna start hopefully here middle of the month, maybe the end of the month. We'll get that going and get some topics lined out. And I know we've talked. I think we're gonna have one topic for the week and just
go with it.
Talk and have fun with it. So if you're a wrestling fan, make sure you tune into that too. Under the Behind the Mic show, it'll be part of the Behind the Mic show as a separate little special.
That's right. And I've had several people contact me wanting to be on that, by the way.
I have too.
So, and I'm sure you have too. So it's going to be a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We can. The great news about a podcast, you can have as many microphones as you want.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
And people talking. So
that's right.
Speaking of wrestling, big news out in wrestling. And we're not talking King Kong Bundy.
Oh.
That is that Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman are going to take over Raw and SmackDown.
That is huge. Huge. Yeah.
Raw's been better as of late.
Yes, it has. And I think I said that to you whenever you posted on Facebook. I said, well, at least I know now why Raw's been pretty damn good the past couple weeks because Paul Heyman's already been involved as my guest. So,
yes.
And they're just releasing it. But yeah, you can tell night and day in the last couple weeks what's been before. And really, it's nothing major. It's just as you watch and I watch, yeah, there's still some downtime. But in a 3-hour show, it's not all going to be highlights. You know, there's got to be some filler time and all that. But, man, they've actually had good, solid matches. There's been a lot more wrestling,
yes,
which I think is important. And even the matches are telling a story. And, like, the tag teams are involved. That's a Paul Heyman thing right there. Paul Heyman's big on tag team wrestling. So you see that. But the storylines, the little things still with Bray Wyatt going on. You know, as we've seen I believe that was last week, where, like, the puppets were appearing throughout backstage. It was just so great. You're like, and I didn't even notice it at first.
I had to point it out to you.
You did. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even notice it. Then I said, you want to like look at this? You're like, oh, I didn't see that. So it's things like that. It's cool. You know, I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe we're both excited about it because it's just like a breath of fresh air. Like when the Undertaker showed up, nobody had a clue that was coming. I looked all over. You know, when you listen to wrestling shows, you know, on air and all that, like Busted Open is one. If you happen to listen to that, they were just shocked. They couldn't believe it. People
great
on
show,
Twitter,
by the way.
Yes, it is.
Busted Open's great. Maybe someday we can get those guys on here.
Yeah, right. Or we can get on theirs. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, on Twitter, everybody was just shocked. That hasn't happened in years where WWE has shocked anybody. I didn't see that coming. I jumped up off the couch. I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I thought it was all that goosebumps. I was like, holy crap. You know, family show here. Holy crap. You know, Undertaker's there. I can't believe they're still making him wrestle. But, you know,
he didn't look
whatever.
bad.
He didn't look bad. No, not at all. So
some of the things I'm reading is he's already picked out his WrestleMania opponent, and this will be the last one, though.
Is this it? Okay,
yeah.
Well, good for him. Yeah, he needs to. And in a tag match he's getting ready to do at Extreme Rules, I think that's a good way to kind of, you know, let him ease back into it and not be, you know, and not look as old that way. But his final match, that'll be interesting to see who that's against. So, you know who my prediction is?
Go ahead.
Bray Wyatt.
No.
With this new persona. I see it that way. And kind of a passing of the torch almost.
I don't know. I don't know who it'll be. He'll pick somebody out where it'll be interesting because and then he'll go out. I think you won't see him. He won't do.
And I know he's already wrestled Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. But at the same time, it's kind of Bray with this new persona is like, I don't know. We'll see what they do with Bray, but I don't know who it would be, going forward, as many people as he's wrestled. So I don't know.
It'll be interesting, but you
and
won't see him show back up in a Legends deal or anything like that, or show him,
Yeah, no. And then one thing that I did was reading from people, and it was true. The more I thought about it, is Baron Corbin. Okay, I was not a fan of his for a long time. I know you were kind of big on him there for a little bit.
I still am. I think he's awesome.
Well, he went through that GM role, and now he's not the GM. But believe it or not, of all things, he's the best damn heel they've got right now.
Agreed.
People legit hate him, and that means he's doing his job.
That's
he's
exactly
great
right.
at playing a heel, at being cocky, that's what you have to have, is people buy in that, God, they hate this man. That means he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So it's just things like that you see that are making it better, and I think a lot of that is the Paul Heyman influence. I'm interested to see what Bischoff does on Fox, which I think is going to be a little edgier, I do believe, with Fox.
I think you'll see, from what I've read, and they both have said it, both Paul and Bischoff, is you're going to see them bring back two different total styles. They want to bring two different types of shows in.
Love it.
I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely. Love it. And you know what I want to see, and I know we've talked about this forever, I want to see those two, even though they're in the same brand. Yes, we know it's fake. We know it's, all scripted, all stuff, but still, entertain us. Get those two brands where they are like competing brands and they're at a war with each other, where it's like you're saying, it's two totally different things. Yes, Monday Night Raw is the big show, and, it's all the shine and the, all that. It's more of sports entertainment. Well, then fine. Then make SmackDown kind of grittier, kind of edgier, rougher, whatever, and get those two where they're going button heads almost. I just think that would be so cool. They've never done it. They've kind of hinted at it, but they've never went ahead and done it. So
they should.
Yes, absolutely.
So my question to you is the hiring as Bischoff and Heyman as executive directors, if you will, of both these shows, is it influenced by All Elite Wrestling?
Oh, I think it's got something to do with it. Yeah, yes, I would say is a definite answer, because there's a lot of buzz around AEW. Whether it's really good or not, that still remains to be seen. It's one thing. Hell, you and I put on a great pay-per-view, if you will, at Florida High School, because we had months to prepare. So did AEW. Now I haven't watched this second one, but I'm hearing that it was kind of on this second one that they just had. Don't know if that's true or not. You watch it yourself, you find out. But yes, that does have something to it, because there's a lot of buzz around AEW right now. So you better do something. Plus, I think a lot of it, though, is too, the ratings have been so bad for Raw and SmackDown for so long that even Vince is finally saying, we got to do something. And plus XFL starting up, that's Vince's project. Maybe he's stepping away to go do this and try to make that successful, because that's the one thing that just chaps his ass.
Yes, it is.
Is that I lost a bunch of money and it failed, and Vince McMahon is not one to take a loss lightly. So if he can come back and make it successful, then that might make him somewhat happy. I don't know. But yes, I would have to say AEW definitely was influential on that. And you couldn't assign two better names to do that, I don't think.
Agree with you there. I think one of the biggest things WWE has going for them, it's improved over the last, now it's only been 2 weeks, mind you.
Right.
And we'll see where it goes from here, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on the Champs and Chumps Wrestling Roundtable.
But what if you get 3 in a row? What do you got?
It's a winning streak.
That's right. That's right.
But one thing I have enjoyed seeing, and you've seen it more here really the last couple of weeks, is our storylines. And they're not just 1 week storylines. These are storylines you can see building and building and building. It's going to have a climax over, 3 months from now, 6 months from now. Somebody's going to have a climax until WrestleMania.
That's right.
But they're finally I'm not going to say the internet's great for wrestling, but it's also very bad for wrestling.
It is, yes.
We used to love seeing surprises. Now there's no such thing as surprise.
Because you can't anymore. Even your dark matches are reported. I mean, you got to think back to whenever we were watching it in the late 90s, early 2000s, when, is at the end and Stone Cold's going nuts and chairs are flying and they say, well, we got to go. We'll see you next week. And you had to tune in next week because you didn't have a clue of what happened after that. Now it's like I just read about it, so it makes you wonder if it would have been as successful back then if the internet was around and really hopping back then.
Well, another thing is, and I think that's part of the reason ratings have taken a big hit. You're not going to see ratings is because Well, I can read about it tomorrow morning.
Right.
I don't have to stay up to watch it because I can read about it tomorrow morning, or I can go
That's
watch
right.
YouTube here at
Yeah.
11:30 and see what happened, or DVR it and fast forward, because that's what I do.
Unless they bring it back to where it is a must-see event. Because people will tune in if it's like, oh, man, you know, because you could read about Game of Thrones, for instance, you know, the day after if you wanted to, but they made it must-see where everybody was tuning in. The ratings were through the roof. So if the WWE can get back to that, oh, man, you got to watch it. It's awesome. But anyway.
Never even heard of it.
Baby. Oh, man. But it could be great. Now, and, you know, we've talked about AEW. Is it really going to push WWE for a while? You know, they're already having a little effect, sounds like. And, you know, AEW really doesn't have to compete with WWE. That's the thing they need to keep in mind. They don't have to. They can be on a different night, offers us an alternative to watch, because I'll watch wrestling anytime it's on. You know, why not? As long as it's decent, you know. And they don't have to compete. It's not a war. You know, now if they want to go head-to-head on Monday night down the road or something like that, sure. But they're in no way, shape, or form ready for that right now. They will lose, and they will lose bad. So,
agreed. I think you made a great point there, and they're an alternative.
Yes.
So it gives people options of, if you don't like the product that's going on in WWE right now, you don't like things going on, AEW gives you another option. You know, just like Ring of Honor gives you another option right now, which I think is
here's what I will say is, if let's say AEW does say, you know what, we're coming at you, WWE, we're putting it on Monday nights or maybe Tuesday nights for SmackDown or whatever, and we're going to go head-to-head, I guarantee you, due to the buzz of the AEW, they would beat WWE ratings in the first few episodes at least, just because people want to tune in to see something different. Okay, what do you got? You know, and then the WWE would falter a little bit, but over time, I just don't know that they've got it.
The machine of WWE.
Right. That's right.
But no, you know what? AEW is going to debut on TNT in October.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That's the same month that SmackDown moves to Fox.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Ain't that
interesting? Well, hey, make sure you we'll keep you updated on our new wrestling show, wrestling only show, Champs and Chumps Wrestling Roundtable. We're excited to debut it, and yes, I have a list of guys who want to join us as a chump, and we'll have the champs. You know, Downtown works. He's busy at Huck. It's hard to stay awake there at Huck.
I was going to say it's hard to get him on the show.
Join us, but I'm sure Blake Leathers, if he's listening, he'll want to join us.
Yep.
Nards will want to join us. You'll have tons of guys who want to join us, and maybe even some ladies.
Who knows? You know, I'm sure we've got some female ladies out there that like wrestling or just want to join in and talk to two champs.
Right.
Who wouldn't want to?
Maybe someday we can get Frank Wyatt on here.
Maybe. That's right.
We'll talk the independent scene.
Yeah, why not?
But hey, you never know. But hey, great first segment there, Sammy. That's the headlines. You know, today really wasn't a fast five.
No.
Because there's not a whole lot of fives going on right now.
No. How's your Cubbies doing, by the way, before we move on?
We're all right. We're all right.
I think Cardinals are 500.
It's everybody's beating up on everybody in that division, just like I figured they would. So
what's the lead right now?
I think we're tied or we're right out of the game. I haven't looked today. We lost again today to the Reds.
How's Javi Baez doing?
Oh, he's an all-star. He's great.
Man, he's a stud. I will say that. That kid's a stud. And I think I told you that a couple years ago. I said, this kid's got superstar written all over him. Yeah. And boy, hasn't he. Woo. Yeah. Man, I don't know much, but I can pick out a superstar every now and then.
Oh, yeah. That's why you picked me to be on the show.
Exactly.
Then we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about our Mount Rushmore of NFL running backs. And I'm actually anxious to hear who you put on your top four.
Oh, yes.
And then
I'm sure we differ.
Yeah. And then later on, we bring in the queen of the Gibson household. Yes. My wife, Lori, will join us as we talk best pickup lines ever and get her reaction to see which one of us can draw the best pickup line. So it should be a fun end of the show. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seats Sports Bar and Grill.
Here at Ford of Tuscola, we offer superior sales and service for our valued customers, and we are committed to serving you. Our inventory consists of a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, including the Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck. Come see why Ford is the brand that more people buy and buy again. Ford of Tuscola, Central Illinois' vehicle sales and service destination. Located on US 36 in Tuscola, Illinois. Find your dream vehicle here at Ford of Tuscola. Ready, set, let's ride.
Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seats Sports Bar and Grill. We had a great first segment, getting ready to start our Mount Rushmore of NFL running backs. And Sammy, my co-host, the great one, Sam Erwin, back with us as always. And no guest this week, no interview, just you and I. But we do have a guest a little bit later on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Queen's going to join us.
That's
So
right.
Interview. We're just going to have a little fun about cheesy pickup lines, and I know she can't
Absolutely.
wait for that.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great for everybody.
Now we're going to talk NFL running backs.
Okay.
Mount Rushmore. You have a long list to choose from.
Phew, man. And this is another one of those that, man, you know, there's just so much talent that we've seen. And really, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of a dying art.
It
really.
is.
You know, the NFL running back, it's a mostly passing league now, and they have multiple running backs. They don't get near. And I tell you what, I feel so sorry for a lot of them. I mean, they were just abused, the number of rushes per year, and just beat on and beat on and beat on. So a lot of these are going to be, for me, in the past. You know, I mean, we're talking 20 years or more. You know, I just haven't seen anybody since that, you know, has eclipsed these guys. And there's probably records that you may never see broken just because the game has changed.
That's correct.
So a heck of a list. And there's some that you have to leave off if you're only doing a Mount Rushmore, and that's where it gets tough. It's like, man, who do you leave off?
Well, that's where I kind of that's where I was at. So let's start with your number 4. You're the guest as always, and you're my co-host. So, you know, I let you go first because that's the type of guy I am, Sam.
You are. You're very considerate when it comes to that. Absolutely. So I appreciate that. No, my number 4 is one Jim Brown. The man played 9 years, but he had over 12,000 yards, 106 touchdowns, including 20 touchdowns receiving. From the film, now granted, we didn't get to watch him live, but man, these are where I wish I could go back in time and watch this guy live because he was just an absolute freak, man among boys. Hung it up early, probably could have played another several years and just hung it up early to maybe save his body. Pretty smart, really, but just phenomenal, head and shoulders above everyone else. And he brought championships to Cleveland, but he will always go down as, you know, one of the greats by far. And I think a guy that even in today's game would have no issue whatsoever to absolutely dominate. So that's my number 4.
Well, guess what?
Did you have the same one?
Jim Brown was my number 4.
Oh, boy. How about it? All right. How about it? Okay.
Some people will say he's the greatest running back of all time.
Absolutely. Yeah. But mine, I did my list based on, you know, length of career, overall production, not taking that away from Jim Brown. But at the same time, you got guys that put in, you know, more time in the stats and the titles and, you know, all that. So, but Jim Brown is definitely, it's not to be ashamed of to be number 4. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I'd love to be number 4 in a lot of things.
Oh, God, are you kidding? Yeah.
I
just like to be on the list.
I'll give you my number 3. How about that?
Okay. All right, let's do that.
My number 3 is a man who many will put atop their list. In fact, I'm sure probably there's quite a few that there's no greater. He was in Dallas for a long, long time, and that's 15-year career with Emmitt Smith. He's my number 3.
Okay.
25 career, you know, single season touchdowns, 18,355 yards, 164 career touchdowns. I mean, those last 2 may go untouched.
Absolutely. Yep, 100%.
You know,
and
MVP, Super Bowls.
He did it all. Yep.
Now, my list, you said you did your list on stats, longevity, and all that. I went with what I saw with my eye, what I've seen with my eyes. Now, with Jim Brown, yes, we've seen just highlights and videos because you and I went around then. But with Emmett, we got to watch him. He's a Florida Gator.
Yes, he is. Absolutely.
We've got to watch him from there all the way through his career, and then when he hung it up with Arizona there, which was sad, actually.
Sad. They never should have done that to him. Never.
No.
But, yeah.
But Emmett's my number 3.
Well, we are in step here because that's who I have as my number 3. And the reason I have him as number 3, and that's hard for me to say because I was a big Emmitt Smith fan back in the day when the Cowboys were rolling with him, Aikman, Erwin, all those guys. I mean, what a team. Good Lord, were they loaded. But the reason I have him number 3, even though he's got the best stats, and he was phenomenal, no doubt, and the longevity, and man, you know, there was that one season where like he missed the first couple games and still came out and had like an MVP season. It was over a contract dispute. But he played with a ton of talent.
Yes.
You know, his offensive line was just absolutely phenomenal. So he had that in front of him. He also had a, you know, Hall of Fame quarterback. He had a Hall of Fame receiver. He had all this around him to where he wasn't just keyed on at all times by the defense because they had to look around. So that's what kept me from putting him at the top, even though he's got the most rushing yards and all that, is just because – and it's not his fault. He can't help who he's surrounded by, but he definitely benefited from that because not every player has a great offensive line to run behind. They have to create their own.
Well, that was part of the reason, the same reason you gave his offensive line, the same reason I have him at 3. I mean, he had some guys who could, Hall of Famers.
Oh, man.
All pros who blocked for him.
Yep. Nate Newton.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Nate was there in some kind of spirit, but.
Oh, yeah, he was high on the Cowboys for a long time.
Yeah,
so,
he sure was. All right, who's your number 2? And I surely we don't agree. Don't have the same.
Surely not, because if not, this is just going to be a terrible Mount Rushmore. My number 2 is he was the all-time leading rusher until Emmett came along. Rushed for 1,200 yards 10 times, which is definitely impressive. 16,000 plus total yards from scrimmage. That still has his 3rd on the all-time list in terms of yards from scrimmage. And to me, the reason why he's so high on this list is he was really the only real threat on offense his entire career. And that is one Walter Payton. He did it with class, sweetness. He was smooth, and he actually ran a lot harder than what I've seen him run over people that were twice his size. I mean, just what a phenomenal player. And in those 80s Bears, I mean, God, he was so good. And it was heartbreaking in the Super Bowl when they let Fridge run in a touchdown instead of Walter Payton. After that career, I think even Mike Ditka looks back on that with a lot of regret because that hurt Walter Payton's feelings for sure, especially after the years he's put in. But I have him at number 2 for all the things that he's done.
Well, guess what? We don't agree this time.
Oh, okay. Who do you have at number 2?
Number 2, I have a man who, if there was an offensive line in front of him, you wouldn't be able to tell because it was so awful. Collected 1,300-plus rushing yards, a stunning 9 times. Topping at 2,053 yards in an MVP season of 97. 15,269 yards on the ground, 2,900 as a receiver, and 109 combined touchdowns. And maybe the most elusive running back ever to play the game, and a guy who stepped away before he should have. I don't want to say before he should have, but when he wanted to. Offensive Rookie of the Year, 10 Pro Bowls, 6-time All-Pro. Ladies and gentlemen, the only Detroit Lion ever to matter in the entire world, Barry Sanders.
Absolutely. Yep. Great pick. And you know what? I can't say anything more because he's my number 1. It's my turn. That's who I have at the top. And just like you said, you know, with the talent around him, you give him Emmitt Smith's offensive line, he rushes for well over 20,000 yards in his career, a record that would never be touched again because he created so much on his own. You watch the games because on Thanksgiving they were always playing, and I felt so bad for the guy, but somehow he'd break an 80-yard run out of nowhere. He had no quarterback. The receivers were just average at best. The line was nothing, and somehow he just kept producing and producing and producing. So,
you realize he only played 10 years.
10 years. Smart man. He got his money, got in and got out before he was, you know, wounded the rest of his life and injured and had to deal with that. So I just always felt bad for him because such a great talent. And he got the playoffs several times, mostly because of him. But then when you get to playoffs, I mean, what can you do? You know, you're just outclassed when you get to that level. It's just a shame that he never got to, you know, get a Super Bowl victory. And he was loyal. He stayed with the team, but they never built a thing around him. So
no, they didn't. And, you know, and from?
Oh, Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Heisman Trophy winner, phenomenal. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Very good. I'm impressed you got that one.
Yeah.
Well, we flip-flop 1 and 2. You had Walter at 2. I have Sweetness at number 1. Being a Bears fan, and I'm sorry, he just trumped the Sanders.
Okay.
I think Barry Sanders is probably the greatest running back I've ever watched with my own eyes.
Right.
But Sweetness is,
Yeah.
He did things just the right way. Never talked.
Yes, he did.
Never just did things the right way. And
class the whole time. Yeah.
I'm actually shocked, Sam. I'm gonna be honest with you as we do this show, is that even though we're kind of out of order, that we had the same 4 guys.
I know, that's weird. We did not, folks listening at home, we did not talk about this list before we started this. So yeah, we were pretty much in lockstep there. Well, let me ask you this, since we were so lined up, who were some that you left off that you felt easily could have been, you know, maybe 3 or 4 slot?
Eric Dickerson was one.
Yes. I thought of Marshall Falk.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one. Just Falk just did it all. I mean, he ran the ball out of San Diego State. He caught the ball, and, you know, he's part of the greatest show on turf. You know, there's so many great running backs. Another one I would think of is kind of crazy, but, you know, Jerome Bettis.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Can't go wrong with that. Now, let me throw one out there to you that may seem kind of like due to length of career and all that. But just if we could project, you know, with
focusing on one sport and staying healthy, Bo Jackson has to come to mind on if a guy could have stayed healthy and had a lengthy career, what could he have done? You know, because he was making Pro Bowls and all that, and he was only playing like half a season. He was the most unstoppable football player I think I'd ever seen whenever he was playing for the Raiders and healthy. I mean, good guy. He was the fastest guy on the field, strongest guy on the field. He could do it all. I mean, he ran over Brian Bosworth. He did it all, but, you know, he only played like, 3-4 seasons tops, you know, and then the injury happened, and, man, what a tragic career.
You know, Sammy, maybe that's what we do for our next Mount Rushmore on the next Behind the Mic show, episode 12, is maybe we do our top 4, our Mount Rushmore of what-ifs.
Yep, absolutely. Those that we wish could have seen.
Who, if they stayed healthy, would have changed their careers.
I
think that'll be very interesting because you can come from any sport then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a wide-ranging thing. And then one more running back that I think needs mention that a lot of people probably don't think about, but I just remember watching the highlights of this man, and he was just an absolute monster, was Earl Campbell for the Houston Oilers.
Yes.
Back in the getting his jersey ripped off, and I mean, he is splitting people's sternums running into him, and good Lord, was he a hard-running man. Woo, boy, he was lights out.
He only played 8 years and had 9,400 rushing yards.
Exactly.
And
this is back in the day when those guys were running the ball like 300-400 times a season, just taking a beating, you know. So, yeah. But, no, I mean, it's hard to really argue with those 4. Maybe others might have some feedback on who they might think it is. I've always enjoyed listening to the feedback and hearing from people and reading it and all that stuff. So if somebody's got some other person in there, let us know.
I'm sure some Cowboy fan will come up, Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, well, and you know what? That's not a bad pick either. That man was pretty good too. So I'm sure we'll hear from Brian McTackett on that one of Tony Dorsett. So,
but I will agree with you that I haven't seen a running back in the last, I won't say 10 years, because I think Danian Tomlinson had a great career.
Adrian Peterson's had a great career.
If he just
a lot of health issues though.
If he just stayed healthy, who knows what he could have done.
Right.
But I did. Besides those, a handful of guys.
Yeah.
There's nothing really out there because
they're just interchangeable. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right, Sammy. Well, we're going to take a quick break here from our great sponsor, Bees Trees. If you are looking to get your yard cleaned up, some trees cleaned up, if you've had some storm damage, give Greg Miller a call at Bees Trees. He did my trees. They made them look fantastic. He's a certified arborist too, so Greg knows what he's doing when it comes to trees and making sure they're healthy, making sure they stay healthy, and making sure your yard looks great. And he does fresh, all clean up. I mean, I didn't have to do anything, just write him a check, which is fantastic.
You can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. Yeah.
So we'll be right back after a break, and we'll invite the queen of the Gibson household in to talk cheesy pickup lines. You're listening to the Behind the Mic show from the Cheap Seats Sports Bar and Grill.
One tree or a dozen, large estate or small corner lot, whatever you call home. When you have trees that need professional care, that means calling Bees Trees. Greg Miller, owner and operator of Bees Trees, is an ISA certified arborist. Bees Trees offers tree removal, trimming, and free estimates. They're fully licensed and fully insured. Call Bees Trees today to find out how they can keep your trees healthy and thriving. Call 217-260-4551 to schedule an appointment with Bees Trees.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Cheap Seats Sports Bar and Grill. The Behind the Mic show, episode 11, is that we are wrapping up our show, Sam, episode 11. What a great show we've had so far. We've talked the hottest headlines. We've talked Mount Rushmore of NFL running backs. And now, though, Sam, we welcome maybe the most special guest we've had ever on this show.
Absolutely.
And that is the queen.
The queen.
The queen
That's
of
right.
the Gibson household.
Yes.
My wife has graciously joined us. Lori, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Such a patient woman. Such a patient woman.
Putting up with us.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
It takes a lot.
She says it takes a lot to put up with us, too.
I would imagine so. I mean, her normal day-to-day life. I don't know how she does it. Then you throw me into the mix, once a week like this, and it's a lot. It is. It's a lot. I don't know.
That's what she's doing. But today, she has graciously came in to the Behind the Mic show to give us her take on our best pickup lines.
Absolutely.
So you being the co-host and my guest, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, and now to give the listeners at home, did you tell them how we're doing this?
I won't, but thank you. That's why you're co-host. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll pick up the slack from time to time.
I appreciate it.
So basically what we're doing, and of course, Lori, once again, thanks for joining us. She must have got the golden child laid down for her slumber for the evening. So welcome once again. So basically how we're going to do this, those of you listening at home, and of course Lori, who's been gracious enough to play along, this is basically going to be a competition of a cheesy pickup lines. I'm going to give one, then Keith's going to give one, and then Lori's going to judge which one was the best and who really, put it out there for. And the winner gets a point, and the first of 5 points is declared the cheesiest of the cheese. So,
and you know who my old man is? I've got a lot of cheese.
Oh man, I mean that guy. He had more one-liners than too funny. Oh,
all right. So, Lori, I want you to imagine that you're not married to me, which I know is hard to believe. That
boy, that's like a dream come true for her.
Like I don't even remember not being married.
I know because it's so great. But I want you to picture yourself at a bar. Mm-hmm. Now you got me on one side and Sam on the other. We're gonna throw our best lines at you.
Ooh.
She wants to run away. All right.
Give me what you got.
All right. Keith, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
Oh, okay.
You're the guest. You're the co-host.
All right. Okay. Lori, how much does a polar bear weigh?
I don't know.
Enough to break the ice. Hi, I'm Sam. It's pretty good. Good luck topping that, Keith Gibson.
Oh, my. Hey, how you doing? I'd say God bless you, but it looks like you already did.
Oh, man. All right, Lori, who gets the point?
Oh, man. This is harder than it should be.
That's what she said.
Oh, hey!
I'm going to go with my money.
Oh,
yeah.
1-0, man.
All right, you want me to go first the second round?
All right, you go. Yeah, you go first this time.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can say this with a straight face. Hey, you must be a broom because you just swept me off my feet.
Oh boy, that's smooth. That is. That's nice. That's nice. All right, Lori, you ready for the other part?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, you look familiar. Did we take a class together?
I don't think so.
No? I could have sworn because you and I had chemistry.
You nailed that.
Yes. It's all about the delivery, Keith Gibson. 1-1.
All right. Your turn to go first.
Oh, Mike. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. All right. All right. Lori, was your mother a beaver?
No.
No? Because damn, girl.
Wow.
That's as cheesy as it gets right there.
I tell you what, this show ain't always about sports, but we like to have fun.
Absolutely.
I'm not a photographer, but I can picture me and you together.
Oh, that is smooth right there. That's smooth.
You win. My money wins that one.
Dang it, man. All right, Keith, you go first. Up 2-1.
Oh, boy. You know, Lori, for some reason, I was feeling a little off today. But then you came along and you turned me on.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Boy, you seal the deal with something like that. I mean, that's not cheesy. That's just smooth. Absolutely. So, all right. Lori, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. After that one, I don't know how you could be, but all right, here we go. Lori, you're so cute. You make me stutter. Whoa, what's your name?
I wasn't sure if that was Sam Erwin talking or down Bosco. Oh, who gets that one?
Well, I was going to do that.
Oh, it's 2-2.
Oh, 2-2. Oh, tie game. All right.
Oh, I got you.
Okay. Is it my turn to go first?
That's funny.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
On game point.
No, we gotta go to 5. It's only 2-2. First one
Best
to
of
5.
five.
No, first one to 5.
Oh, first one to 5?
First one.
Right.
First one.
Not-
Oh, my bad.
Not best out of 5.
I thought 5 was game point.
No.
Well, what?
He just gave you that point.
I gave you that
All
right.
I thought it was game point.
All right, your turn.
Here we go.
Thank you.
All right, Lori, here we go. Are you my appendix?
No. Thank you.
It's weird because I don't know what you do or how you work, but I feel like I should take you out. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Two.
Well, Lori, they say Disneyland is the happiest place on earth. Apparently, they've never been standing next to you.
Oh man, that is gold right
Wow.
there.
You win. No money.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I still
gold.
got it.
That is. Yep. All right, you go first. 3 to 2.
All right. Well, I'm going to use one that I've used a long time.
Oh.
Hi, my name's Keith Gibson. And yes, I am this good looking.
Wow. Wow.
That's
All right.
deep.
All right, let's see. Not bad.
Never
Not
worked.
bad. Yeah, that works like every 6% of the time. That works every time, like that. So, all right,
Thank God
All right,
he
Lori,
doesn't
you ready?
use it anymore.
here we go. I think I can beat it. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Have I lost her?
No, we're good.
All right, Lori, you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Lori, you're so hot that if you were bread, you'd poop out toast.
Winner. Take a
Yes, that's one you hear probably like Clay City would be my guess. You know, one of those places.
Wow.
That's not a Champagne pickup line. That's a Clay City pickup line right there. All right, 3 and 3. Yeah, am I going first?
Your turn.
Okay. All right, let's see here. All right. Here we go. Lori, do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again? Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that exudes confidence right there, Keith. Confidence.
It does. I've
Chicks
heard
dig
that
that
one
out.
before.
My
Yeah.
turn, right?
Oh, she's actually heard that one before. How about that? That's great.
Did it work?
No, because I've heard it jokingly.
Oh.
Ah, right.
It's no fun. Hey, would you grab my arm? I just want to tell everybody what it's been to be touched by an angel.
Oh,
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 jeez.
man. Wow.
That's great cheesy.
That,
Get the point there.
Just Sam.
oh boy, he's up 4-3. He gets this one. He wins. My God.
I am.
Wow. And you go first. You better bring a big one right here because I got one that's gonna knock her socks off.
Oh.
I even have some in my head that haven't come up.
At the end of this, we'd like to hear some that you've actually
Yeah,
heard in a bar.
we would.
Yeah.
We would like to do
Did
that.
it hurt?
Oh,
You fell
from heaven.
heaven?
Hey,
Oh, here we go.
this move actually worked when I was trying to date you and do this, but
Did you do this?
yeah, no, I didn't. I should have though. There's only one thing I want to change about you, baby, and that's your last name.
Oh,
Ooh.
boy.
Ooh,
was
that's
pretty smooth.
good. That's good.
Yeah, it is.
You've
good.
never said
All
that.
It's a tough one to follow.
Didn't have to. You fell in love with me from day one.
Jesus. All right. All right. Here we go. So now I got to, after that one, that's smooth. All right, here. You ready, Lori?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. I'm pretty great at algebra. I can make your ex disappear, and you'll never need to know why.
I'm totally giving Mo money this one.
Oh,
That is
man.
good.
Hey, you know what that
Really
means?
good.
That is a good one. You know,
I hated algebra though.
It's
Oh,
4-4.
wow. See, that's what cost me. This is it. This is it. Yep.
And it's your turn to go first.
Oh, man.
This
Okay.
game point.
This is.
Game point.
All right. I did save this one for last. This one is a no doubter, Keith. I wouldn't even try after this one. All right, Lori, you ready?
Ready?
Wrote a little poem for you. So just shows my my creative side. Roses are red, violets are blue. I have a gun. Get in the van. How would that not work? I mean, come on.
Well,
yeah. Good luck, Keith Gibson, on that to bring home the trophy. Good luck.
All right. Well, hey, you know I'm a magician?
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I can make your pants drop off for about 2 seconds.
Wow.
Winner.
All right, Lori, who wins?
You gotta sleep next to me. Just remember that.
Good stuff.
I don't know.
Ooh. Do we have maybe a tiebreaker here? Was it too close to call?
Should we give you one more?
I want one more from each of you.
Oh, boy.
I'm not
Wow.
overly happy with those final choices. I want one more from
Why?
I'm just not.
Keith, you're up. This is
All
it
right.
for the World Championship.
Lori, are you a parking ticket?
No.
Because you got fine written all over that ass.
Oh, my.
Go ahead, beat that.
Well, I don't know that I can. I'm not real sure. So,
I mean,
let's see.
gun in a van ain't gonna work this time.
Yeah, well, you know what? That should have worked. That was gold, baby. That was gold right there. Okay. All right, let's see here. All right. Boy, this is tough. I want the victory. I want it.
Yeah, you
All
got
right, Lori, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
nothing.
Girl, you remind me of a Snickers candy bar, half sweet and half nuts.
That's not cheesy. That's true. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, pretty true. Won't lie. But I am giving it to Mo.
Oh, man.
Right.
Biased.
World champion again.
Biased.
Cheese.
So
He's
Lori,
always
what
cheesy.
Lori,
He's
what are
still
some of her
cheesy.
real life?
What's some of the things you heard before you met perfection?
I never met perfection.
Oh. You met Bosco, didn't you?
Again, never met perfection.
What's some cheesy pickup lines you heard when you were single and ready to mingle?
Because I didn't hear too many cheesy pickup lines.
Didn't
Like,
do much.
I didn't. Yeah. I had the fell from heaven one. I already said that. I don't. Do guys really use cheesy pickup lines at bars?
Only the giant douchebags, as far as I know. Now, yeah.
I used to go out all the time. I didn't hear them a whole lot.
No.
That's
one of those things I hope that you just see in the movies, but a lot of guys I think will do it just to say it, just to be funny, and it just kind of breaks the ice. And then he laughs like, yeah,
like a polar bear
conversation. So
That is pretty good. I can't believe I
that
never
was a
heard
good
that
one. I've never heard that one.
You
before.
haven't?
What's that? Which one?
The polar bear.
Oh yeah.
That was good.
Absolutely. Well, Lori, thanks for playing along. We appreciate it.
We do thank you. Yeah.
Yes, no problem.
See, now you can join us anytime we can do stupid things like this together.
I love doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Well, Sammy, for you, for my wonderful wife, the Queen Lori, and for myself, Keith Gibson, this has been the Behind the Mic Show, the comedy edition, if you will, this week. But we have had fun. We thank both of you for joining us. We thank our sponsor, Bees Trees, for being one of our wonderful sponsors. We're looking forward to the Champs and Chumps Wrestling Roundtable here coming up soon. We've got a Dinger Chat coming up soon to talk about the All-Star Game for Major League Baseball soon with Shane Stoneside for our MLB analyst. And we've got a lot more things coming, including at the end of the month, the Drive and Dives Tour for the Behind the Mic Show, a great fundraiser we've got coming up as well. So we appreciate you joining us, appreciate you listening. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great day. No matter what time of day you're listening, just enjoy yourself and be happy. From all of us here, to all of you, God bless. Have a great night.
Bees Trees, your local ISA certified arborist with over 10 years experience, specializing in tree removal, tree trimming, and with free estimates. Call Greg Miller of Bees Trees today at 217-260-4551.